Good morning, friends. This is Prabir Kundu. Today I am going to tell you something very basic about a disease, which is a curiosity and problem, uh, headache, not only for the medical fraternity, but for the nations, for the generations, for the people, and that particular disease which is spreading like anything is diabetes. What is diabetes? Diabetes is a state of our physical body where there is a excess of sugar in our body. Now question comes to your mind that from where this sugar come and why the sugar is required in our body, right? So sugar comes from the food we take. How it comes, I will take up later. And why we need sugar? Because sugar is required in the body because it is helpful to do all kind of movements, activities that we do throughout the day, because sugar gives the required amount of the energy. Understand? So sugar is very much like water is required in our body, like we require oxygen for breathing. So similarly, sugar is also required, a quantity of the sugar is required to go through the form all the daily responsibilities, our movements, our activities of the body. Now question is this, from where this sugar comes? So sugar comes from the food. How it comes? When we chew the food or when we eat the food, this food breaks down into three parts. One is carbohydrate, second is protein, and third is fat. In these three parts, this food is being broken. Now this carbohydrate part, this is a complex matter. This gives energy to our body, which is helpful, as I said, for formation of any kind of activity. Fine. But anything which is in the complex form, it cannot absorb in the body. To get absorbed in the body, it has to be simplified into a simpler form. So what happens? During the metabolic process in the body, this carbohydrate, which is a complex, it breaks down into fructose. It breaks down into fructose. And this fructose, which is itself once again a complex material, complex molecule, and it cannot absorb in the body, as I said. So it breaks down into the glucose. Now glucose is the simplest form of the carbohydrate, right? Now the moment this metabolic activity happens, this breakdowns happen inside of our body, that food starts breaking down into carbohydrate and carbohydrate starts breaking down into glucose. That time one very beautiful thing happens inside the body. What is that? The moment glucose starts coming to our body from our endocrine cell, there is a hormone already there in our body. That hormone started ejecting one by one from that endocrine cell, and that is known as a insulin. That particular hormone is known as a insulin. See, it's like that you are hungry and you are standing before a restaurant. The restaurant has no seats. The owner is telling to you, wait outside for a couple of minutes. You are getting the aroma of the beautiful foods, the tasty foods, and that is further increasing your appetite. How come? Because the moment this aroma of this good and delicious food is entering into your body, at the same time from your abdomen there is a hormone which is known as a pepsin. This is an automatic process, metabolic process. Pepsin comes out, and that pepsin increases your appetite. You become mad. You cannot control the hunger, because the more and more the aroma is entering, the more and more pepsin is releasing. So this kind of lot of hormones are available in different parts of the body, which is contributing in lot of metabolic activity of our body. So insulin from endocrine cell starts coming out from the body. And this glucose is a king. Okay, so insulin is a receptor, insulin is receiving that glucose, and what will happen, this insulin will request the glucose to sit on his back, and he will take this insulin, will carry this glucose inside the cell of the body, and from that cell it will stored into the liver as a form of glycogen, and this entire process is known as a glycogenesis. Genesis means formation, so formation of the energy. Understood? Carbohydrate breaks down into fructose, fructose breaks down into glucose. The moment glucose started coming in the body one by one from endocrine system, the insulin hormone starts coming out automatically. Insulin welcome the glucose, ask him to take a ride on his back, and with his back insulin pushes the glucose into the smallest part of the body, that is cell. Through cell, that glucose went to the liver and it is getting stored over there as a form of glycogen. So this is the normal process that happens with any kind of normal human being. Now for any people, any professional, any person whose metabolic rate is being affected, it has automatically gone slow down because of some of the process. What will happen? Now suppose after taking food 20 units of glucose is being released. That 20 units of glucose will require 20 units of insulin to come out from the endocrine system. But because of the problem, what happens? We get only 15 units of insulin. So that 15 units of insulin can only take the 15 unit of glucose inside the cell of the body. Now what is balance? Balance is the 5 unit of that glucose. And that 5 unit of glucose will not be able to enter to the cell because in absence of the insulin. And it will keep on increasing slowly and slowly the required amount of the glucose inside of our body. And this particular stage is known as a diabetes. Now, why there is so much of hue and cry for this diabetes? There are so many other diseases also much more dangerous than diabetes, like cancer and all, but there is a lot of hue and cry. One, that diabetes can be reversible in most of the cases, so people can be saved from this dangerous disease. And the second concern of the diabetes, that if it is not being taken care of, it will directly hit the end organ damage. End organ is our mind, our eyes and our kidney. And if we do not have any memory, suppose a condition where a patient doesn't have a memory, or a condition when patient turns a blind, or a condition where kidney doesn't work, then what happens? His life become hell and miserable. So that is why the prevention and care of diabetes is very, very important. Thank you so much.